easier not talking over the engine here. So we can see this is the corresponding data log. And what I'm looking for in this particular window is what the closed loop correction was doing. And we can actually see where the cursor position's at within our table. If I click H on the table, that takes away the backlighting on the table here. And it shows us exactly where the travel was through the table. So looking at this, we can find where we were driving. We can see, depending on where the cursor's at, here the closed loop is adding 3%. If we go a little bit further, right here, we can see again, trying to tracing through the table, that was taking no real fuel away. We see that the actual and the target are pretty much in line with each other. We can actually also look at the yellow and the green here. They should be overlaying on top of each other pretty well. That's the target and the actual. So the closed loop is showing us how much it's adjusting by, and then the actual and the target here are making showing us the tracking of the actual lambda to the target lambda that we're requesting from our target lambda table here. Now, right here, it's showing it's adding about 5%. We can see right about here. That could have been an area that we didn't hit previously with the quick tune. So right here, I could probably highlight the table and just do shift asterisk, maybe add 2%, 1.02. So just make a little bit of adjustment there. Coming through here, there's a 2% adjustment. We can see the trace point. If it's 2 or 3% in a correction, I'm not going to go chase after that because it's going to be pretty much spot on. Here's a 2% adjustment. Here's a 4% adjustment, kind of depending on where we're at here. So let's go do some blending right here. We can actually do O, smooth out that section right there. It's going to blend all the values together, make them get a little bit better. Let's do O right there. It's going to blend those values. So again, looking at this, just kind of looking at the overall operation of the engine, the closed loop correction is barely making any adjustments. Here it was making a 6% adjustment, so we could probably bump this down, maybe 0.95 is taking away 5%. Blend that through the table, use our O function here. Just blending a little bit here, blending a little bit here. So just using this correction to see how much we need to make our adjustments. And that's usually what I do when I'm looking at a data log. If somebody's sending me a data log from a car, I'm not even around it. I'll play it back through and allow it to trace back to the table, looking at what the closed loop adjustment is actually doing. So I can hand touch up the table, or obviously we can use the quick tune. If you're trying to dial this in relatively quick, the quick tune works very, very well. You can see it was barely any adjustments I had to make after the we drove through the table with the quick tune. If you do 2 or 3 driving cycles with the quick tune and you smooth out every change every time you're doing that and do that smoothing function, use the O function, highlighting a range and just smoothing it out, you'll be left with a table that's pretty well dialed in, and the closed loop will be making minimal adjustments. And that's kind of what we're finding here. So this behavior is exactly what we want to see in terms of that closed loop correction. Our base table is dialed in. So we'll flip back in here, we'll do H into the table, so it flips it back into our other mode. Let's store all the changes we just made to the link. So we know the table here is pretty valid. Now, what we're going to do next is the next part of our calibration process. That's going to be experimenting with our injection timing table here. We're starting with a value of 360. This is a good kind of neutral value for any engine. We can start to increase or decrease the values, and what we're looking for now that we have our closed loop compensation on as we're kind of holding the engine.
And thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.